Hello, my name is Skylar Smith, and thank you for checking out my presentation on the motivational strategies that I picked up from this class this semester. My presentation is called Motivating Middle School Band Students: 4 Strategies You Can Use to Improve Motivation in Your Band Room. So let's get started. First, why does motivation matter? First, students lose confidence. When you're dealing with kids that are just picking up the instrument or just learning how to play the clarinet or the saxophone or the trombone, they are not going to experience success day one. They're going to have to go through some trial and error. And with that could be fun for some kids, but it could cause some kids to lose some of their confidence. And going off of that, some of those students may have a fear of making mistakes. Some students may want to be perfect and want to be good at everything right then, right now. Also, lack of a reason why to complete a task. What is the value in doing band? What is it going to do for me in the real world? Or what is it going to do for me in school? And teachers help the students shape motivation. They're going through school. We are shaping how they are motivated in school and how they will be motivated in real life. One of the strategies or theories that we learned this semester was expectancy-value theory. And to sum it up, expectancy-value theory asks questions such as, can I succeed? That is the expectancy part of the theory, or is it worth it? That's the value of the theory. Expectancy value theory explains that student motivation depends on whether the student believes that they can complete a task and if the task is worthwhile. So I had a 7th grade clarinet student who had all the potential in the world, but some days she would just come up to me and say, I don't see the value in band. What am I doing practicing for 30 minutes outside of this class? Like, I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing the value of what it's going to do for me outside of middle school. But that all changed when I told her to go to the high school football game. And she saw the marching band. The marching band had the most school spirit in that stadium. They were cheering on the football team. They were getting the crowd hype. And they were doing all the things to boost the morale of that football stadium so that the football team can win. And that next day, she came back with a big smile on her face and said, Mr. Smith, I finally see the value in getting better in my instrument. I want to be a part of the high school marching band. And also, she didn't think she could succeed, because at that point she was not the best player. She was maybe 4th chair, and she was comparing herself to the 1st chair. And at some days she didn't like comparing, or she didn't see herself getting as good as the 1st chair player. So she would say things such as, I'll never be as good as them. What's the point? I'm never going to be good as that person. They're going to be in the band. I'm never going to be able to play the first part. In that theory, I was able to give her some goals and maybe change her mindset a little bit. I gave her the value, and I also showed her the expectancy that you shouldn't compare. You should make goals, and you should see small improvements every day. So if you go into class and say, I'm going to play this B-flat scale today, you play the B-flat scale, you're going to feel motivated. So we just worked one-on-one and tried to boost her morale, boost her expectancy, and boost her value so that we can see motivation increase over that period of time and after 7th grade into 8th grade and into high school. The next theory I'm going to talk about is goal orientation theory. Now, to sum that up, that is basically mastery of goals and performance goals. Goal orientation theory says that student motivation is influenced by the type of goals they are trying to complete. The students who focus on improving and developing their skills, mastery, are going to be more likely to stay motivated and persist through challenges more than those who focus on being better than their friends and avoiding mistakes. And I had trumpet players in 8th grade a couple years ago that I just saw were not participating in class. They did not want to try it on the challenging part of the music. They said it was too hard. They said, I'm not good enough. I'll never be as good as that person. And I wondered why. They had goals that they had set, but their goals were, I'm going to be better than this person by the end of the year. Or I am going to be better, play eighth notes better than this person at the end of the year. Their goals were based on comparison and based on other people. But I took some time and I explained to people, we're going to try a different type of goal. We're going to try and make individual goals that we can set and that we can achieve. Such as, I'm going to play staccato notes as short as possible. Or I'm going to play this excerpt of my piece with 95% accuracy. Or I'm going to play my LGP music with full accuracy. Or by Friday, I am going to pass off measures 95 through 125 of my band music. And after we started creating individual goals that weren't based on what other people are doing and based on what they can do and them seeing the improvements in themselves, they began to be motivated and began to participate in class. They began to participate in the more difficult sections and sections they were not familiar with. They were still trying because they were still improving, and they had the mindset that they are going to master these skills and they're not going to avoid mistakes. They're going to make mistakes because they know that is what makes them better. Now, I have some strategies that I am going to give you, more accurately 4, that I would use to boost motivation and engagement in your band room. Motivation strategy 1. Build confidence through small successes. And that means break the music into smaller excerpts. Maybe don't think as the music as a whole for one day. Maybe think, okay, let's just attack the beginning of the piece for that day. So that may be measures 1 to 7, or it could be 1 to 5. If your students can only handle the first 5 measures, but they are seeing success, that's going to benefit you way more than if you are trying the entire piece, but you get through the entire piece, but you made a lot of mistakes that the students aren't feeling encouraged, and they're like, I played this right, but I also made so many mistakes, and my friend over there gave me a look when I made a mistake, and now I just don't want to play anymore. Have weekly goals for the students. These could be, we are going to play half of our LGP music this week. Or we are going to learn the A flat, B flat, E flat scales for this week. Or it could be, I am going to play a B flat chord in tune. Progress tracks. Week by week, create a chart of things that students need to complete in the exercise book. So that could be number 55, you could play all the way through with 85% accuracy. Or that could be play measures 10 to 20 of the band piece. That could be the melody that they're working on and that needs to be improved so that they can work outside of class. And finally, praise effort and improvement. Don't just be bogged down in praising your higher achieving players. So if there's a first chair trumpet that is always playing something correct and you're always giving them praise, some of the other students aren't going to feel as motivated because they don't feel like they're getting any praise or feel any improvement because you're not giving them acknowledgement that they are actually improving. So if a student plays the right note at this point, or they play 5 notes of the scale, give them a praise. Say, you did a great job. I'm really proud of you for those 5 notes. Now let's try and add those last 3 notes so we can play the whole B flat scale. The next motivational strategy is help students find value in music. Connect band to other interests. There are so many ways band can be used in the world. There could be jazz band. There could be a pep band. There could be marching band. There's concert band. There's orchestras. They could even play in a pit orchestra that backs up a musical theater. But they are not going to know if you don't show them these things or expose them to the different arts that music can achieve. As I said before, the 7th grade clarinet student did not see the value in music until she went to the marching band game or the football game and saw the marching band play. That's when she saw the value. She saw the school spirit. She wanted to be a part of that. Reduce the perceived costs of band. Band can be expensive, but there are so many ways that you can reduce that cost or use the school instruments. There are many ways that you can find an alternative so you don't have to buy or use your money for music. Motivational strategy 3. Shift the culture of your band room. Celebrate all types of improvement. As I said before, don't just focus on the high achieving students. Make sure each one of your students is getting some sort of improvement and praise for improving at all times. A student is going to feel so happy when their teacher says they're doing a great job or they did this and that you are proud of them. They want to feel like they're succeeding. They don't want to feel like they're failing. They want to feel like they're getting better, an instrument that they are just learning. Normalize making mistakes and that it's not about being perfect. In middle school band, you are just now starting to play that instrument. You are not going to be perfect. You have to normalize making mistakes. You have to show and model that mistakes are okay, but you can learn from all mistakes. If you make a mistake, don't just put your instrument down. Think about what you made a mistake on and try it again. And we are never going to criticize somebody for making a mistake. Always give positive praise. Set personal goals. Set goals that students can achieve and they can succeed in a short amount of time. So that may be 10 small goals, but every day you're reaching goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3. So they're seeing that they can succeed at improving at their instrument. And that's not just one long goal, that they're not seeing that succession. They are seeing, we want them to be able to feel them succeed so they know that they're improving. Praise individual growth over comparison. Don't compare one kid to another, especially in front of the whole group. Everybody is going to be at a different place, and everybody's going to learn at a different rate. So if you normalize that everybody's going to grow at a different rate, but they're all going to reach that same goal, everybody is not going to focus on, oh, I'm not as good as Johnny. But they should be focusing, oh, I'm getting good at my instrument. I learned how to play staccato yesterday. I've learned how to play an accent today. I'm just about to learn how to play my B flat scale. Just seeing that individual growth, and that it's an individual mindset and not, oh, I want to get good so I can be better than Johnny, who is first chair. And the last motivational strategy is build a belonging for all students. Band is about making and creating a community. And that starts with you. We need to create a positive classroom culture. A culture that strives and drives on improvement, relatedness, independent learning, so they can go outside of the classroom and practice and get better, so that when they come back, they know their music, and at that one point when everybody knows their music and they play that piece all the way through it and it sounds great, they are going to feel inspired and they are going to feel like a community. They're not going to feel like, oh, I did that. No, they're going to feel like we did that. You also need to support your diverse learners. You are going to see a multitude amount of people in your band room throughout your lifetime as a band director. There are going to be so many different learning archetypes. You have to be prepared with strategies for those with exceptionalities, English language learners, beginners, and gifted students, so that you're never pushing somebody away. You are always bringing in and creating that community and creating a place where kids can make mistakes. You can come and make mistakes. You can come and improve, but you're always going to succeed. It is okay that you're not perfect from day one, as long as you're succeeding, improving, and working. What changed my thinking about motivation? I used to believe that students were motivated by competition. In high school marching band, I always wanted to be better than the high school that we were always losing to at that one competition. And I thought everybody thought the same as me. But after this class, I learned that there were many factors that affect my students' motivations, such as confidence, goals, belonging, value, and goals. These things improved my engagement and my motivation drastically. Finally, my final thoughts about all this. As you go on and you apply these strategies into your classroom, you need to create a culture and a school that aims for students to feel safe in taking risks, making mistakes, and improving every day. My teaching has already improved as I understand how I can reach all my students individually and apply all of their differences in learning and how they improve to create one solid band. You can do this. If you take all of these strategies and you start applying it even one by one, you will see improvement in your students and you will see improvement in your band. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you can apply all of these to your classroom and you can succeed in motivating your students. Thank you.